I've been away for a couple of weeks and I have really missed making videos for you guys. So I'm back and I'm almost back to normal. Jet lag stinks. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin's Container Garden. After I got back, I didn't know what day it was. And it took me a little while to kind of get back to normal. Worked all last week, studied all last week because I had some catching up to do. So yesterday was garden day. And my husband and I got out here into the garden and we worked our little cotton socks off. And I'm paying for it today, mind. But we actually got a lot done. We planted 14 containers of potatoes, our first and second earlies. The first early should have been in the ground before I went away, but they weren't, so we got them done yesterday. I planted 47 red onion sets, 18 yellow onion sets, but those are in the ground, so we won't be talking about those much. You might get the odd little view here and there once everything starts coming up, but we are really concentrating on containers this year, so we won't really talk about that. However, I did get about, I think it was about 20, maybe a little bit more than that, onion seedlings planted in containers, so I can talk about those. I only had 5 Elsa Craigs that made it through all of that hubbub that we had with the seedlings, but I had quite a few red impastas, so those are red onions, and those all survived. Now they've been hardening off all week, and I'm hoping that they're going to survive the freeze that we've got going on, and by the time you see this, we'll have already had the -2 that's predicted for Tuesday night. So we'll kind of fingers crossed and we'll see if they survive. I also planted some carrots, and I planted out some pak choi that I had been growing in the milk containers. I planted out my leeks, which you can see behind me kind of peeking over the edge, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit more in detail when I show you those in detail, and I'll talk about these things too. So this is not a mystery. I'm going to tell you everything about it, so let's get started. Now, this is the stuff that I messed with yesterday, except for the blueberry bush and the dahlias that I still haven't replanted. These are the seedlings, the onion seedlings that I had. I had 4 Elsa Craig left, and the rest of these are red impastas. So those have all been planted out. They had been hardened off over the last week. These are my spinach that have come up. I'm so excited. And these are my spring onions that have come up. And yes, I know I have to thin them out. I will, I promise. I'm going to be tough on myself this year. And you remember the milk carton garden that I had? These are the white stem pak choi that I had growing in there. They were really the only ones that were, the slugs got a hold of the things while I was away. So they were the only ones that were ready to come out. So I've replanted them, and there's nothing to see here yet. Well, there's a little bit showing. I'm not gonna talk about that just yet. I'm doing a little experiment in this container. I've got seed tape in the back near the label, and then I've got regular seeds in the front. So I'm gonna see how they come up and what's the difference. Now the seed tape, I'll link that video at the end of this one so you can see how to make your own seed tape in your own garden. Now this is all the potatoes that and I say we because Peter really helped me yesterday. We planted these yesterday. There are 7 containers of first earlies. Those are the kestrels that are in the back near the wall. And there's 7 containers of Pentland javelin. Those are the first earlies that are on the outside. And that little space right here that you see, that is going to be where everything is going to get kind of moved forward. And the Picasso, which is the main crop, is going to be at the wall. The kestrels will be in the middle, and the Pentland javelin will be in the front. So I'll have all 3 layers of potatoes out here. I counted up yesterday, and there'll be 8 of those containers of the main crop. So that's going to be where they're all going to live, and hopefully we won't have as many winds as we had last year, and hopefully that won't be an issue. Seeing as how that we're talking about potatoes, this is what we did yesterday. And hi Bob, that's our blackbird. So Peter dug it out. We used the soil on the bottom to put the potatoes in. We did this last year, and when the potatoes came out, the soil was fantastic. So we've planted the potatoes in the bottom part of the soil that's come out, and we're just going to let everything kind of compact down, and then that will be what we work on for this year, and we'll do potatoes in them, in the bottom stuff again next year. Now what I did is that I have been treating the soil from the potatoes from last year. I've been treating the soil with manure, with fertilizer, and all kinds of things. So that soil is actually really quite rich now. So I've put that soil from those containers into these compost bags. This is why I save compost bags. And that will be used to fill up containers and top up containers for this year's crops. So I actually had more than this. I had maybe another bag and a half, but I topped up the potatoes with that soil just to give it kind of a mulch almost. And so there were 14 of them, so about a container or a bag and a half of that. So I had about, well, there's 5 there, so about 7 of these containers that I had. And I'll have to do the same again when I'm doing the other 7 or 8 containers for the main crop. So I'll have more of this soil. That's going to save us quite a bit of cash. And here are my leeks. Now you probably can't see them very well because they're teensy tiny. They're actually standing up quite straight. I had the place that they were to be planted marked by some kitchen roll tubes, because I'm going to put something else in there to act as a windbreak, but I will fill you in on that later when I have more details and I have everything set up. So there's the leeks. Trying to beat the rain. It's supposed to come down about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and there's some really gray clouds hanging overhead, so I'm going to make this quick. I just wanted to keep you guys updated on how things have developed. I didn't film yesterday when we were out in the garden because I knew we had a limited amount of time to get a heck of a lot done. So I thought it would just be easier to show you the results, and then we can follow through with those results. If you have any specific questions, just let me know down in the comments, and I'm happy to go through the process with you if you need to. Also, now it's time for the big question. Are you growing anything this year that you've never grown before, that you're excited about growing? What is it? Is it a flower? Is it a vegetable? Tell me down in the comments because I really want to know. And since we've got quite a few new followers now than we had just even a month ago, I wanted to let you guys know that there are plenty of playlists in my channel, and one of them is here, and that goes through the 4 P's, the 4 P's, and it will give you some information on getting your garden ready. And as I promised it a little bit earlier, here's the video about how to make your own seed tape, which we're doing a little bit of an experiment with this year. And you can use it in containers as well, because I have done that. So we'll keep an eye on that. And remember, you don't have to grow all the things, just grow something. Until next time, take care. Bye, y'all.